something we've been very excited about. So there are a few people I'd like to introduce that you may not know. This is Steve Dawson. He's on our guitar. A new session of classes is beginning on Monday. That's an 8-week session this summer, and then there are some 4-week classes as well. Monday, I'm sorry, not tomorrow. Monday, June 25th. So you can sign up for classes with Steve Dawson if you are so inspired today to learn about songwriting. There's only one spot left in songwriting too. And this is Mark Harrow. And Mark is an entertainment writer at the Tribune, and he and Steve are collaborating right now. Can I spill? Okay, I'm not going to spill. Oh. So let's have a warm welcome for them. And Mr.
Wait, and so everyone turn your cell phones off, obviously. This is going to be a pretty loose but important-filled discussion here. And we're going to have some songs, I think, unless it's just a prop, but I think we have a few songs. And we're going to discuss the songwriting in the digital age, and there will be time for question and answer as well. And I'm just going to start this by asking, so the title of this is Why Write a Song? The Art of Communication in the Digital Age. And I'm wondering, is songwriting different in the digital age?
Well, I think it's different in the sense that if you're 16 years old and you want to put your ideas about the world out there, you have so many options now in the digital age. You know, you can blog about it, you can Facebook, you can tweet about it, you can make a little short film and put it on YouTube. When I was 16, and the only medium that I had any access to was to write a song, learn to play guitar, go and do gigs. That was the only platform available to me, and I think that because people keep saying to me, where are all the young political songwriters now these days? Given the economic situation and the wars that our countries have been involved in, there should really be a sort of a whole new wave of young singer-songwriters. But I think the people who are angry now are active. They have so many other ways to articulate what they want to talk about, but also at the same time to engage. That's the important thing. It's the engaging that's important in the generation. We shouldn't measure our younger generation by how many political songs they write, but how engaged they are, and they clearly are very engaged. You can see that in Occupy.
Do you think that there are things, though, that you can get at in songwriting that you wouldn't be getting at in Twitter or Facebook, and that there's sort of a missed opportunity?
Yeah, nobody ever wrote a tweet that could make you cry. It's as straightforward as that, really. And no, Alec Baldwin did he? But the opportunity that I've had in the last 30 years to travel around the world and perform and connect with people, engage with people and learn stuff from people. I don't think you do this kind of thing for, you wouldn't have a festival of people who've written blogs down in Lincoln Park and everyone comes along and reads out their blog. It's a different thing, and music does something else. Music engages us in a different way from a pamphlet or from a book or from a documentary or a film. Music is a more, I think it's a more personal thing, Anyone who's ever been in a supermarket and Long Distance Love by Little Feat has come on, and then suddenly their mind has gone back to something that happened to them when they were 17 years old with a girl at work. That sort of thing. I don't think that, it's hard to write an interesting Facebook post that does that.
So let's talk about what you just sort of brought up about you being 16, 18, first, I'm guessing, learn guitar somehow, maybe from a teacher or just on your own? And
from the kid next door.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what made you decide you wanted to write songs?
Well, I've been writing songs since I was about 12. I was one of those kids who wrote poetry at school and I didn't stop. I don't know why the rest of them did stop, but I didn't stop. And our careers master at the school where I grew up with, every year, our main employer where I grew up was the Ford Motor Company. And we got taken to the main body plant when we were 15 and 16, which was leaving school when I was 16. And when I told them that I didn't want to work for Fords, they said, you've got 3 options then, son, the Army, the Navy or the Air Force. And it was then that I realised that the only way to avoid all this was to try and make something of this thing that I really enjoyed doing. And I'm pleased to say that I was successful in that. And success, I think I define success anyway by doing the thing you've always wanted to do and getting paid for it. You know, you don't have to top the charts, you don't have to be massive, you just have to be able to get out of bed in the morning and say, brilliant, I'm going to go and talk to some people for an hour about why I love doing my job. How great is that? You know? And that's any job, by the way, it's not just this job, that's any job. My brother's a bricklayer, he loves laying bricks, he really takes great pride in it, he loves doing it. So, you know, it's any job you can be successful in.
So what was the first time you put music to words, and how did that work?
Oh, well, the first few times I put music to words were very, very derivative. You know, I mean, I think you learn to write songs by studying the songs of the people that you really love. And
So who were some of those people that you loved as a teenager?
well, the kid next door was obsessed with Rod Stewart, so I had to learn the entire Rod Stewart songbook. That was okay because it had a lot of Bob Dylan songs in it, and I was kind of into Bob Dylan. But before that, Simon and Garfunkel were really big to me. They had a kind of very weird introduction to English folk music. Paul Simon, yes, Scarborough Fair. You know, I mean, Paul Simon learned Scarborough Fair from Martin Carthy, an English, great English folk singer. And Martin Carthy, in you know, when I first heard Scarborough Fair, which was probably about 1970, Martin Carthy was playing in the folk club in Ilford, about 2 miles from where I lived. But it took 2 Jewish guys from Queens, working with CBS and Bob Dylan's producer, to turn me on to English folk music. How does that work? As I was saying last night, the gig, what goes around comes around in folk music, you know, that's how it worked. There's something, yeah, very strange. But that's what kind of got me into traditional English folk music, that sort of thing.